Okay, thank you very much. I would like to thank first the invitation to participate in this INSTO annual meeting in 2022, which gives our observatory the opportunity to show our work and to address the topic of observatories, tourism observatories, and universities. Um, So I will start now saying that by saying that the Azores Sustainable Tourism Observatory was created on December 29, 2006. And our founding members are the University of the Azores, the Azores Convention Bureau, and the government of the Azores. Uh, the three are founding members of the University of the Observatory of the Azores. Now we are going to describe in more detail the main activities of our observatory. And we divided the activities into different strategic action vectors that guide our activity. So first vector, this is an approach to diversify our production. We do not only monitor, we study, we advise, and we inform. So we divide our actions in these four vectors. The first vector is monitor, where we make the analysis of the main sustainable tourism indicators. We have a statistical website and sentiment analysis, and then we implement several surveys. The surveys on the satisfaction of tourists visiting the Azores. This is we have already a time series since 2010, so we can make conclusions about the evolution of the tourism satisfaction. And the sample is representative of the Azores as a whole, not of each island. And we implement also a face-to-face survey on the opinion of Azorean residents on the impacts of tourism in the Azores. We now, this year, we are launching this survey, and we designed the sample to be statistically representative of the main islands of the Azores. We have this difficulty that we share with other tourism observatories, like in Sao Paulo. They also mentioned that they were collecting data for specified number of cities in the state of Sao Paulo, because it has so many cities. Also in the Azores, we have 9 islands, but the tourism activity is concentrated in 4 main islands, and that's where we collect data from because we don't have money to make surveys in the statistically representative samples for each island. So now we have a survey also on the tourism sustainability practices adopted by Azorean tourism companies. This is a survey which is directly related to sustainability practices in the destination. We have the vector B, which is study. We do many research projects, scientific research projects on different issues like garden tourism, like creative tourism. We are now ending our creative tourism project, which with the aim of transforming the Azores into a creative tourism destination. And we do also a participation in a scientific research project, Tour Signal, meaning to find out the ease of access to internet by tourists when they tour in the destination. Another scientific research project would be the Azores Digital Innovation Hub. This is an extremely important project, and we're going to talk about it later on. Back to the East tourism policy advising and international cooperation. So we do publications and we advise the government on sustainable tourism policies. And we also are members of international association and bodies. We are members, of course, of UN, affiliate members of UNWTO. We are members of IUTA, the International Association of Universities of Third Age, because we are promoting together with this association senior tourism. among the students, senior students of our universities, and our association has as a member the Chinese Association of University of Third Age that has 7 million senior students. So it's a major source of tourism exchanges. That's what we are trying to promote. Now it stopped with COVID-19. We have a membership also with the International Federation of Technical Analysis. So we have we are associated with different international bodies. We have the final vector C, which is Inform, updating the Observatories webpage. Presence in social and tourism professional networks, production of a monthly newsletter, and dashboards, and tourism trends at the national and international level. So this is basically what we do. Partnerships and participations. We are partners with the Azores, the DMO, the University of the Azores, which I've told you before, is a founding member of the Observatory, with the Azores Tourism Advisory Board. And I'm sorry, this is a new advisory board which was created by the DMO, and we were invited to participate in this tourism advisory board. Sustainable Tourism Observatory of Alentejo, which we have been partners and cooperating with Alentejo, a Sustainable Tourism Observatory, and I would like to extend this to the Sustainable Tourism Observatory of Algarve now, and other observatories in Portugal mainland. Azores smart specialization strategy, we were coordinating the tourism working group, the Azores Maritime Tourism Operators Association, and the Portuguese Association of Hotel Restaurants, and similar. At the international level, we have partnerships with UNWTO Insto Network of Sustainable Tourism Observatories, European Islands Tourism Observatory located in Sicily, Italy, Center of Social Studies of the University of Coimbra, and the International Association of University of Third Age, IUTA, that I already mentioned. So about us and Insto Network, the integration of the Azores Tourism Observatory in the UNWTO Insto Network took place in January 2020. It was a major landmark in our history, allowing to network with other INSO sustainable tourism observatories in Portugal and abroad, sharing information experiences, improving methodologies, and fostering the analysis and monitoring of the tourism activity in the Azores. INSTO provides a major contribution to achieve our ultimate goal of contributing to the development of sustainable tourism in the Azores within a broader scope of action in the field of sustainable development in compliance with the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, as well as in compliance with the certification by EarthCheck of the Azores as a sustainable tourism destination, according to the Global Sustainable Council guidelines promoted by the Azores DMO. So now I will just briefly give some of the results of the survey on the satisfaction of tourists visiting the Azores. The majority of tourists are aged between 18 and 34 years, and they occupy higher management positions, and monthly income between 3,000 and 5,000 euros. They were satisfied with the destination, satisfied with the sanitary measures imposed at airports in the Azores and in the Azorean tourism accommodations, and mostly would like to recommend the Azores destination to friends and family. So we have basically a positive opinion and satisfaction of tourists visiting the Azores. We also have the survey on the tourism sustainability practices adopted by Azorean tourism companies. The main results are showing that 72.5% think that tourism makes a contribution to the recognition of the importance of ecological values, and only 25.5% of entrepreneurs think that the local community is involved in tourism planning and in tourism destination making process, processes, which is not a very good result. 73% of the surveyed entrepreneurs make customers aware of saving water and energy measures, and 58.5% of companies use solar energy, which is also very positive. We also assess the accessible tourism for all, and we see that 15.7% of companies offer accessible parking facilities, and 25.8% of room and sanitary installations were adapted to accessible tourism. So what are the challenges and constraints that we face? We face a constraint of a lack of available and systematically collected data on the performance of the Azorean tourism sector, especially concerning energy consumption, water consumption, and waste production by tourism firms and entities. So we have the information for not a separate information for the tourism sector. We have energy consumption, water consumption for the whole sectors of activity in the Azores provided by our statistical office, but they don't separate the consumption by tourism firms. And we have some difficulties in reactivating the implementation of tourism company surveys due to the extreme difficulty in getting responses because of long surveys and some lack of cooperation from many tourism businesses facing time constraints in the post-pandemic periods of tourism recovery and boom in the Azores. So what happens here is that the tourism companies during the COVID-19 pandemic basically were not answering the surveys because they didn't have tourists. They didn't have any tourist activity. Now it's exactly the opposite. We have a boom of tourists coming to the Azores, thanks to opening direct flights to many destinations in Europe and United States and Canada. And now what they are saying is that they don't have time to answer long surveys. They are fully busy with making money, which is natural, and profits to their business. And so they don't have time for answering these long surveys. And I was surprised by my colleague from the University of the Algarve when he said he mentioned that he had 83 questions, right? 83 questions, my God. It's not easy. Okay, but that's exactly what Dirk was saying before. We have to convince the companies, the tourism companies, that this is on their benefit. They will have benefits from providing the data to make comparisons, and see where they are performing. So the Azores Tourism Observatory has produced extensive and credible independent technical and scientific work in partnership with the University of the Azores and other foreign universities, which has sometimes not been properly recognized by local public tourism entities. We also have high costs of sampling services and implementing complex projects such as monitoring the mobility of tourism in the destination and creating a digital big data tourism platform. So for that, I really think that we can count on the support of Turismo de Portugal to implement these projects, which are quite expensive and time-consuming. And we are a small observatory. We only have 4 people working with us. And so we're facing some constraints and also due to our low annual budget. The way forward, on the future, we are betting on a digital tourism projects in partnership with the Azores Digital Innovation Hub, which is a project located in Nonagon, our technology park in the island of San Miguel. And this is a clear bet. We're going to start a new project now, which is facilitating the diffusion of technologies and digitalization of tourism firms in the Azores. We are only small tourism firms and we don't have big firms. And so they are not aware of the advantages of incorporating technology, of reducing costs, improving quality, and the need to qualify their staff in the technologies as well. So we are going to do that in cooperation also with the Instituto Tecnológico Español, the Spanish Technological Hotel Association, and we're going to bring to the Azores. We're going to bring technology firms, producers of technology, with success in other parts of the country or abroad, and to make workshops to diffuse this technology. We have the implementation of the project of sentiment analysis, monitoring the tourist reviews in the social media, implementation of face-to-face survey on the digital transformation of Azorian tourism companies. So we have recently implemented a survey to know what the real needs as far as digitalization and technological improvements are in the firms, the small firms, tourism firms of the Azores. We have also implementing a face-to-face survey on the opinion of Azorian residents on the impacts of tourism. And also we will continue with the online survey on sustainable practices adopted by Azorian tourism companies. So the main conclusions that OTA will not only continue its ongoing projects, but also embrace new projects in areas that are fundamental to the sustainability of the Azores tourism destination, namely fostering the digitalization of the Azorian tourism companies and the Azorian private and public entities, offering guidance on sustainable tourism practice and monitoring sustainable tourism indicators. OTA, which is our observatory, continues to strengthen its partnerships with the various tourism stakeholders of the Azores destination by joining the Regional Tourism Advisory Board. We were invited this year, so we're now part of this Regional Tourism Advisory Board, which is quite important for us, including the major local tourism players, a body promoted by the Azores Tourism DMO. The Observatory will also continue to pursue close cooperation with the official Portuguese tourism entities, including Tourism Portugal. And I'm very happy to have Sérgio Guerreiro here. And we've talked about organizing a meeting of the National Tourism Observatories in Portugal in the Azores in early January, January 2023, which is very, and I think which is very important for us. As well, we cooperate with international tourism agencies and the University of the Azores, as well as other universities in the Azores, in the world, sorry. I would like just to mention, just to finish, that universities and tourism observatories must collaborate, engaging in a win-win strategy. Thus, on the one hand, universities play several key roles in the tourism observatory, namely, they provide scientific credibility to their production, to the observatory's production. This is very important because in our case, the presence of the university, the partnership with the University of the Azores makes our production, people trust and respect our production. Provides also teams of researchers and the participation of research centers in the projects of the observatories. We do that with the University of the Azores. We signed the protocol with the University of the Azores, which was mutually beneficial to our observatory and to the university. They provide us with researchers from the university, and we bring them new projects, and also we bring them fees. So they make money with this. So we have from the EU-funded projects, there is a fee that we give to the university, and in return they provide us the scientific collaboration of their researchers. we allow joint events to be held, both the university and the observatory, and they are credible partners with when we talk with the governmental tourism entities. Um, Also, on the other hand, the tourism observatories also bring some fundamental contributions to this partnership. Namely, they are an extension of the scientific production of the universities. We, Azores Tourism Observatory, we are uh, 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 we are a research unit credited by the regional directorate of the science and technology. So we are an extension of the scientific production of the universities. We offer opportunities to university students, not only in terms of helping them with their master and PhD thesis, providing data, but also in terms of job opportunities. In the case of the Azores Tourism Observatory, 50% of our staff are recruited among the students finishing their bachelor degrees in the university. We bring networking to universities through participation in meetings and activities of international organizations of which the observatory is a member. Observatories are a bridge connecting the scientific production of universities to tourism companies and DMOs. Sometimes universities are in utopic universe. You know, they produce theoretical production, scientific production, but they don't do it applied, and they don't make the bridge with the tourism companies and with the DMOs. And we do that. We extend our production, scientific production to the companies and to the benefit of them, DMOs. We promote international meetings and conferences inviting universities. We provide useful data for research work, and we offer to universities, research centers, new applied research projects and partnerships with researchers and universities in Portugal and abroad. We, of course, have this close relationship with the University of the Azores, being our founding members and participating in our General Assembly, annual General Assembly, but we are separate from the university. We have separate facilities, which is not happening with other tourism observatories in Portugal. They are located inside the universities. We're not located inside universities. We have our own staff, we have our own facilities, we have our own budget separate from the university. Of course, everything is approved by the university during our annual General Assembly meetings and by the government, the DMO, of course. Finally, ATA will strengthen its partnership with other sustainable tourism observatories of the INSTO network in Portugal and abroad under a broad participatory process beneficial to all parties involved in a win-win strategy. And let me finish by saying that you can count on us. We are the first regional tourism observatory in Portugal and the first INSTO sustainable tourism observatory in Portugal. Thank you very much for your attention.